Okay, so thank you for joining me today. Appreciate you taking the time to have this conversation, Andrew. I just want to uh, let you know, give you a bit of a framework of how we're gonna have this conversation. We'll start with your background and the industry trends you're seeing. Then we'll discuss your current challenges and where you want to be in the next 6 to 12 months. And then we'll wrap up by exploring any next steps that, if it makes sense.
Sweet.
Um, so, quick introduction. I know that you are the CEO and founder of Montgomery Intermediate Group. Tell me a little bit about your journey and what you guys are doing over there.
So there's another brokerage. Some people sell houses, some people sell multifamily office. We sell senior living communities, so independent living, assisted living, memory care, nursing homes. I do a good amount kind of the Midwest, Southeast markets. Kind of got into that. My family, I got family that own and operate. And so back in 2020, before then I was working in real estate and brokerage, was working on another brokerage, was starting up, thought senior housing was a good niche, was going to start up their team, was starting things up over there, figured I'd do it on my own. So I moved back to St. Louis for a bit to get that started up, and, started out with a lot of boring research, just figuring out who owned what and making introductions. And eventually, you start to get deals and you start to sell them. And with time, usually more and more, hopefully that's the case. And, always ups and downs during that, it's hard of COVID when I started, and then, interest rates started going up, but here we are.
Right. Yeah, I think that's one of the hallmarks of real estate, right? Being able to weather those ups and downs, those peaks and those valleys that we inevitably have. So definitely appreciate that you're seasoned enough to have gone through that and made it through and still doing great things. As I mentioned when we spoke before, you guys are really crushing it. Like you said, in the Midwest and Southeast areas. Can you just give us a little bit of insight on what your typical day looks like?
Yeah, it's changed up from when I started. When I started, it was a lot more research. I download, there's like this public information kind of on licensed beds within the senior living space.
Hmm.
Like you could pull, hey, here's every single licensed assisted living, memory care, nursing home community in the state. So you see, hey, okay, here's a property. Let's figure out who owns it. Let's get their contact information. Let's put that in my system, and I'll reach out. Now, I got about 12 or 1,300 clients that I'm continuously keeping in touch with. I have 15 to 20 communities under LOI contracts. Let's, wake up, kind of organize my clients on, hey, who has active deals, make sure I'm going through that list kind of throughout the day, making sure I'm not forgetting to do anything, deal relevant.
Right.
I have deals listed, up on a CRM too. And so kind of just going through that, making sure I'm on top of anything that needs to get done there, whether that's negotiating, whether that's getting questions answered, setting up tours, uploading DD, you know, putting offering memorandums together, underwriting deals. So a mix of that, and then also just continuously checking in with clients too. So gotta always, try to find new deals too. So I'm always checking in, with all those clients, every 2, 3, 4, 1 months, whatever it is. Like, hey, here's what we've been up to. If you like, are you still looking for XYZ? Great. Oh, you want something else too? Great. I'll take note of that. And as I kind of check in with people, sometimes deals come up like, hey, we're ready to sell one now, and they want us to look at that. So really just checking in with clients and working existing deals, and trying to get new business too.
Right. Yeah. I think that's, very important, right? It's a people business. We got to speak to people. We've got to make sure that they know what we're doing. We know what they're doing. And this way we can position ourselves to help each other out. It sounds like, you're really in the grind daily. So that's awesome.
Yeah, just try to stay on time. It's got to be organized. I try not to forget. I don't think if something like I don't forget questions, or because you got to pay attention to details to get it
Right.
all done, and the timelines and so on. So it's, yeah, a lot to stay on top of, but not too much. And if it becomes too much, hire. So I got a guy on the team I mentioned, I think on our last call, who does debt for us, and so I never really got too involved sourcing debt. But now I have someone that I can refer that over to. Like, they need help refinancing or financing an acquisition, and he handles that. So I don't get too involved there. But got a guy who's really good. He came from the banking side and knows that space in and out. And so it's nice to be able to delegate or refer for a business over to. And with time, as we get more deals and new markets and so on, we'll have other agents that are, focused over there.
Absolutely. It sounds like you guys are growing and that's amazing. Seeing that growth and still being in that grind and pushing and, that growth forward. Tell me about some of the major shifts that you see in the industry right now.
Yeah. I don't know if in our space, no, There's probably, we're top 10 kind of brokerage right now within senior living for volume. We're a bit different. We're just smaller than some of the bigger shops. Like the bigger shops, standard, like, hey, we have 5, 10, 15, 20 agents.
Hmm.
We're working our way towards that. As we do that, we want to be efficient, kind of, organizing our clients and data and so on. And so I'm not quite sure, what innovative, strategies other groups are doing. I've heard some people kind of, they can get good data in regards to, the nursing home or senior living business where they can provide good data to clients, kind of advise them on, hey, this location, you can do X, Y, and Z to, it's not doing well now, but if you do this, it could do better. Or, hey, this is a great market you should try to get into and stuff like that. But then
Hmm.
also on the brokerage side, I mentioned briefly last time, trying to implement a new CRM that has, additional value in regards to kind of deal matching based off buyer criteria and organizing our clients and staying in touch with them and so on, and organizing deal flow and keeping track of all that. But then also that new OM AI kind of platform that I mentioned too. That's the newest one we've onboarded, and it's been great. But like a new AI type company that you plug, you upload information into the website or whatever the company database part is, and from
Hmm.
there, it creates a really pretty OM for you that, saves us a lot of time and energy and makes a institutional quality offering memorandum. And, kind of a good balance. I could hire someone to go do that all day, every day, but maybe they're not busy that sometimes. And other times, maybe they're out of town. I can put it all in and overnight I have it ready by the next day. And it's cheaper than hiring someone to do that full time too.
Absolutely. I think, that's like you said, we spoke about it, and I think that's definitely one of the main ways that technology can help with growth and help you be able to pivot within the market a bit easier and stay lean, right? Like you said, if you hire someone out for it, they may be busy with some other things, or, trying to outsource it can be a little bit difficult, but because you were able to implement that AI tool, you've been able to um, keep that process in-house and optimize it, right? You get really high quality, top-notch presentations and memorandums that you can send out immediately and help you really compete with those larger outfits out there.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
they'll appreciate our timeliness in getting them back to them. Like, oh, dang, how'd you get that together so quick? They reached out to us late in the afternoon. I upload it. By the morning, it's ready. So I think
right.
it'll be a help.
Awesome. So I think that's definitely one of the newer AI driven market analysis tools and marketing tools that's out there, especially in commercial real estate. Some people are using some other tools to help identify undervalued assets. Do you think there are any other ways, or what other ways do you think AI could impact how deals are sourced in the senior living space?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'm down here in Dallas with a friend who's in real estate too, and we were talking about a bit about that last night. And different companies maybe up and coming that are trying to, use AI to really dig data on, demographics. So yeah, trying to find, hey, where's a good spot to be? It's always advancing, but like it'd be cool. Like, tell me target markets that would be great to go build in. It's hard to, justify development these days, but if you could really get a few target markets with, AI doing all the work behind the scenes, that'd be great. And then,
Mhm.
again with like, just existing deals too, finding, good kind of market data that might help, someone be more competitive on, hey, they're charging X, Y, and Z. You're not charging enough at your assisted living community. You can, a buyer can come in here and increase rates over X amount of time and just find ways to use data to, be more competitive and find the right markets and so on.
Absolutely. I think that's a great idea, right? Being able to help drive revenue and see where you can raise revenue and grow it using AI tools. That'll be really, really great to implement for a lot of nursing facilities. So, speaking of nursing facilities, actually, or I've been able to read recent reports that show a 10 to 15% increase in demand for skilled nursing facilities. I hear a lot of people talk about the silver tsunami. A ton of people that are going to be retiring and retiring to nursing homes. Are you seeing an uptick in your deals or the amount of deals or anything like
On the nursing home side, it's more needs based, not really. I mean, same with assisted living and memory care. Deal activity it's active. I don't know if that's because I've been in the business longer or um, people are just excited about the market. I think it's a mix of both. People are excited about
that?
senior living just because of the long term play, like you said, the silver tsunami. I don't, occupancy across the board. I've been reading, on independent living, assisted living, memory care side of things. it's been increasing, just because there's more and more, people in that age demographic that are, needing those services, and they're gonna be moving to the homes. I don't get too involved in like the, people moving into homes is great. It helps the
Right.
businesses, it helps take care of them. But on the deal side, I'm not sure. I guess it could have some impacts. Maybe the homes are more full than they were, so now the businesses are making money, and the amount of money that the seller wanted, they can now get because it's making more in profits.
Right.
But I haven't seen really too much firsthand on how the increase population in that demographic has helped on the transaction side. But I could see for sure ways how it could, just by helping the numbers at the community.
Yeah, yeah. As or if vacancy rates drop, then that means more revenue for these businesses, and maybe they can hit those
Exactly.
asking prices that they
Yeah.
want. Yeah,
Realistic price, and a lot. Like, we turn deals
right.
down all the time. They quote an appraisal like, "Oh, it appraised for 20 million bucks," but it's an appraisal making 3 million bucks, and now it's losing 800K a year. It's just not the same. And so, yeah, there's always kind of a bid ask spread, and that bid ask spread is, people are becoming more realistic with it. I feel like with time, but there was a period of time, especially during interest rates, increasing, that sort of period where, yeah, big bid ask spread. Someone, hey, I need this amount.
Hmm.
Buyers not want to pay that, and just making sure you're realistic on deals you bring to market.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as we mentioned earlier, maybe there will be an AI tool or a technology-based tool that can help people be more realistic and create those expectations for those
Yeah.
asking prices, and enhance the expertise that you provide to them. But outside of that, when it comes to we talked about the growth that you guys are seeing. Can you talk to me about how technology has impacted your business's growth strategy?
Yeah, I feel like on the CRM side, it's really important to kind of get that up and running from the start. I hear, and I have friends like all these big companies, and they're now trying to implement like Salesforce or something. And you got
Mm.
people that have been there 20 years and don't know how, they don't want to, or don't know how to use it. And then like getting data over into Salesforce, like when you have that much data, it's just so hard later on. So trying to be mindful of that from the start, where making sure we're building out, as we build the company, building out on the one database where we can kind of find synergies of, hey, working with each other's clients in certain ways, and keeping track of sales comps, and keeping track of each other's progress and stuff like that. So as we grow, just making sure we're on a CRM where we can be efficient and
Hmm.
communicate with each other too. So I think that's important. Yeah, and then again, yeah, maybe with time, I don't know. I do like this new AI OM thing too, because like just the kind of time value money, or I don't know if that's the right word, but if I have agents out there digging up deals, and this they can output more OMs because this is so time efficient, it'd be worth keeping this and giving multiple login accounts rather than hiring someone, if we find it just be more efficient, and they can spend more of their time on what's making the business more money, which is out there getting deals, rather than putting these OMs together.
Listen, man, I absolutely love that. I think something as simple as a CRM, like you mentioned, a lot of companies aren't using them, they aren't implementing them, and they can really make you more efficient, more organized, and help you drive business and drive growth, because you're not missing out on as many opportunities. Things aren't slipping through the cracks
Yeah.
when you have those CRMs or something as simple as Salesforce. I've been in sales for more than a decade now. And when I first started using Salesforce, it really changed the way that I was able to sell, able to be informed about, previous conversations and things like
Mhm.
that. It really does help. So that's great to hear. And then obviously the AIOM, I mean, the speed and the I want to say the cleanliness of it. I can't think of a better word
Oh
right
yeah, it's
now, but
clean. It looks like, I think I kind of just called it institutional, because as a smaller
right.
group, the big groups, they really like everything look pretty, even though it may not make that much of a difference. It's the numbers are the numbers, and the deal's the deal. They like
Mhm.
things to look pretty, so it looks real clean and pretty. It looks like a institutional quality OM that the bigger groups are going to want when they hire a broker.
Right, exactly. Exactly. I think that's a great word for it. So we talked about some of the things that are working well for you, and some of the ways that you're looking to stay ahead. Is there anything that's been frustrating for you?
Yeah, I know. Like earlier on, and it'd be great. Like we've tried you know, data research where hey, again, like we have these properties, figuring out who owns what. And I've
Hmm.
used different kind of companies that say like what are the ones? There's like data, what's this one? Zoom info, stuff like that. And even several others where they, I know some have even said they use AI or scrubbing the internet, but like I haven't found, sometimes the information is right, but not always. And it's
Right.
hard, will we ever find something that's, 90% accurate and finding you contact information and the contacts for the companies and so on? Maybe not. And so maybe
Hmm.
that's something we need to do, hands on, kind of like I did one by one, and try to
Hmm.
use some of those subscriptions to speed it up. But like just really, then you got to call them and figure out what's right. And, narrow down that list, try to find new websites or whatever to come up with more options if it's not, on the first one you look at. So, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, on the deal side, I feel like we're pretty efficient in regards to, now we got the OMs, doing due diligence, stuff like that. I'm not quite sure how AI could get it involved. I feel like, at some point I'll probably hire someone that kind of helps on, the closing due diligence process, like a lot of people do. But yeah, on the market research and like, or, property research, figuring out who owns what and their contact information, that's always a pain for sure and time
Hmm.
consuming. If there's a better way to do that, that'd be great. I'm still trying to find the best one. I've looked at a few options, but just always end up kind of, maybe using a resource here or there, but having to do it ourselves and, really got to confirm the right information, because the stuff that I would always give them kind of tests. I remember like, I'm like, okay, here's 20 properties I've already researched.
Hmm.
Tell me who owns them and their contact information. And I'll compare it to what I have. And I'm like, okay, none of that's right. So I'm not going to go pay X amount of money a month for a system that, isn't going to do as good of a job as just doing it myself. So it'd be great
Right.
if there was something, because that is time consuming and not fun at all, but haven't found that fit yet.
I completely understand. I think there are a few tools out there, that are able to give you better quality information than, let's say, a Zoom info, and a few of them leverage AI as well. But like you said, it's still a matter of making sure that it has the right information that you want and it's accurate enough for you to implement and still be a better fit than you doing it yourself manually. So, that's interesting. With that in mind, which metrics would you say you're most focused on?
What do you mean by metrics?
So, as a brokerage, it could be conversion rates of leads, or again, quality of the data that you bring in. It could be, any.
Yeah, I'd say like right now, like if I bring a deal to market, I mean, I'm usually always selling it. So I guess the metric of, getting a deal and getting it sold or not, we're selling just about everything we get.
Crushing.
And part of that is just being realistic, because I'm not going to tell someone, some people will try to win a deal by telling them they can get X amount of money, no interest in wasting their time or my time or my buyer's times too. So that's helped there, just being realistic on pricing. They get done. Some people look at, hey, if we competed for a deal, did we win it? I mean,
Hmm.
I'm aware of that. I don't track it too carefully. I think as we hire new agents, maybe that'd be important. Just like, hey, maybe because you always want to find ways to improve, and maybe one person isn't converting enough, and so maybe we have meetings with them and figure out what they're doing, how they might be able to improve. I think the most important metric for us is just digging up business, getting opportunities to compete for the business, meeting more people in the space, and just being specialized in our markets and our industry, and just trying to get more deals in the pipeline. We always, I mean, not too much where we can't be on top of what we already have, but enough where
Hmm.
you always hopefully have a deal or two closing every month. I used to always want to have like a deal or two under contract at
Hmm.
all times, and was always happy if I always had one. Now we got 15 or 20, and trying to
Hmm.
keep that up. And I can handle all that I have on my plate right now. Some days, some weeks are busier than others, but yeah, just trying to get more business generally. With that, I'll probably hire more agents, but also do that strategically where it's not, distracting from me and taking up too much of my time. And I can kind of, teach them how I've been successful and have them replicate that and just kind of grow.
I love that, man. Staying focused on what moves the needle, right? And not losing focus on that, not getting distracted by shiny object syndrome, and just being able to focus on those main things, bringing in those contracts, closing out, meeting
Yeah.
new people to bring in more contracts and close them out. That's the hallmark of a great business, man. Sounds like you guys are really dialed in.
Yeah.
Um,
I was on my buddy's podcast the other day. It was called Dialed. And yeah, he gave me this ad before I came down to Dallas.
So last couple of questions here. Where do you want to be 6 or 12 months from now?
We've been thinking about the next hire, so trying to figure that out. Don't want to grow too
Hmm.
quick, like I said, where it distracts me and I can't do my job well enough. But also know, I got clients looking for more deals in other states too, and so finding people to dig up those deals would be helpful. So I'd say the next 6 to 12 months. I got this guy on my team doing debt now. Making sure I'm still helping him as needed and he's up and running. But maybe we're maybe we've decided we want to hire someone, but I travel a lot too, so that's part of it. Like if I hire someone that's younger, I need to be hands on. I got to probably set up an office. I don't think I'm
Mhm.
ready to, settle down fully 100% and have an office and be in there every day. I like, traveling and working from where I am, and I got a home office back in St. Louis, but not quite sure what the answer is. Going to keep trying to get these deals closed, have the money to make that hire, and then find the right hire, and then hire them when I think the right the time is right.
Yeah, man, I love that. Again, just staying focused, making sure it sounds like, you want to make sure that you have that balance between, a good life and, a great business. So, awesome, awesome. Last question. If you could solve one major challenge today, what would it be?
Challenge. I always just think of the stinking research. I mean, I'd like if it would be a miracle if I could really like if I could give something like AI something like, hey, here's 1,000 properties. Get me the owner of the company, ideally, whoever owns it, and their contact information. If a big private equity company, just let me know who that is, and then like the CIO or CEO, CFO. If it could do
Mhm.
that like overnight, and I didn't have to spend that, and I'm not doing that anymore. That's why I'm busy taking care of my own deals, and the people I hire, they'll do that to build up their book of business. But like
Right.
if there was something like that, and you can outsource. I know I've looked in that too, outsourcing that to like the Philippines or other countries where they can do it for a bit cheaper. But even then, I'm still not 100%. I've looked at what they provide on the data, and it's solid sometimes, but other times it's not great. But that's something I've looked into as well, just to help speed things up. Because again, like, yeah, maybe it costs you money to do that, but if you look at the money, what you're making on an hour, if you're going to get deals and getting more deals done, oftentimes it's worth paying someone to do that. That way, you're spending more of your time out there trying to get business, and the business and getting those deals done is where we finally get paid.
Right. Yeah. Again, laser focused. I'm sure there's got to be something out there to solve that data issue.
Eventually,
Absolutely. So that's the last question that I have. Is there anything that you'd like to get across, or just let people know where they can find you to reach out to?
yeah, got a website. I think if you just look up probably Andrew Montgomery Intermediary Group. I think our website's what is it? I think it's www.montgomeryig.net. Something like that. Yeah. Got our website and information on there. So email, call. Emails are better. But if you call, just leave a voicemail. Otherwise, I probably won't call back. 'Cause I get so many spam. I think because my number's out there, I get a lot of spam calls and random stuff. So I always feel like the real people leave a voicemail.
Right. No, that's fair. I feel the same way a lot of times. Again, that was great. Thank you for sharing these
Yeah.
insights and signing off.